Okay, so today we have exercise 7. We will continue with drawing circles in perspective using 2-point perspective, okay? We will draw 3D objects. We will apply the techniques that we learned, division of the unit, splitting of surfaces, all of these things together with the circles, okay? So, we have, okay. Now, let me follow what you need to do here for the homework, so it becomes clear. So, we need to draw first 3 cubes of the same size with circles on all the visible faces, okay? So, we have our horizon line, the 2 points, okay? And we will draw now 3 cubes of the same size. So, how do we know they are the same size? We will start with the same size edge. So, now, I will not give you a specific measurement. If this is, for example, 5 centimeter, all of the other 2 will be 5, okay? So the starting point, 5 centimeters, so that all the cubes are the same. Okay. Here also the same. And for example, here. So, these starting edges must be the same measurement. What measurement you choose, okay? But they have to be the same. Okay, now we will continue to draw the cube. So from here to the vanishing point. And the rest we estimate as always until now. So, this here edge is closer to which point? To this point. That means this side will be shorter than this, okay? Make sure it looks like a cube. Okay. And now we continue to take to the vanishing point. The same thing you will do with all the 3 cubes. The same, okay? Now, we have to put circles on all the visible faces. This is a visible face, visible face, visible face. The ones that are hidden, we will not put anything on them. So, how do we put circles? Diagonal, from here to here. Notice how each of the circles will be tilted differently and look different depending on its location. So, from here what? Through the midpoint, straight line down, parallel. From here, a line going through the midpoint, going where? To the vanishing point, okay? Now we have what? Our 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we will draw the circle inside, catching the 4 points. The same thing on the other faces. Diagonal, diagonal. Then this straight line going through the center, parallel to these lines, and this line going through the center, going towards the vanishing point. Now, the 4 points, 1, 2, 3, 4, we will draw a circle inside. And the top surface, the same thing we will do. Diagonals to find the center. Then, from this point through the center, it needs to reach the vanishing point. And from this point through the center, has to go to this vanishing point. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And we draw the circle. Remember, it has to be a smooth transition. We don't want any edges, corners. The circle cannot have this, okay? Even if it becomes very, very thin, it will still not have corners. So, basically this is what you need to do for the first sheet. Draw 3 cubes of the same size in the space where you put them. I don't care, okay? But we need 3. And you will draw circles inside the 3 visible faces according to the rules that we described. And then look at them and see, even though they are the same 3 size cubes, the same cubes, but because of their location, the circles inside will also look different on the faces, because each of the faces look different. This face is much smaller now than this face because it is up closer to the horizon. This is above the horizon. What will happen? We will see the lower surface, but we will not see the upper surface. So all of these differences will create circles that look different. So where you draw a circle in all of this space, every time it will look different. It will be tilted differently, it will be opened or closed differently. So the location plays a role. Now, let me delete this. Okay, and we will draw the second thing. So, simple 3D objects with circles and division of units. Okay, draw objects from board. This means that for your second sheet, you have to draw the objects that I will draw here. 2 objects, okay? So, the first one, we will start with some composition of cubes, meaning several cubes together, okay? And there will be a measurement that you need to start with, which is 5 centimeters. So, let me start here. So I will start. So on your paper, you will measure from here to here to be what? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, okay? I will not put here. So 5 centimeters, the first edge. Now we will take to the vanishing points. So I will take now to the vanishing points. So you will have to draw the same object, so pay attention. Now, again, the rest we estimate. Okay? Only this first edge is 5 centimeters. We estimate, depending on the location, which point is it closer to. This here side should be shorter than this side. Okay. And we take again to the vanishing points. first cube. Okay, I will put now another cube on top of this, of the same size. So what do? We continue this first edge. This was 5 centimeters, another 5. Okay, so the same one, for example, until here. And to the vanishing points. And because they're on top of each other and the same size, we just put the lines up from here. And the line up from here. Okay, where they will touch these two lines, from here and from here, again to the vanishing point. And to this vanishing point. So this will become hidden here. The hidden lines we will draw because we will need to see what's inside. Now, from this point to the vanishing point, to see the hidden here line, and from this point to the vanishing point. So this should intersect here. Okay. So two cubes of the same size on top of each other, 5 centimeters, 5 centimeters, the first edge, okay? We only put measurements on the first edge if we have, okay? The other edges, even though they're 5, but because they're in perspective, they become smaller. We only care about the first edge, okay? When we have measurements. Okay, what do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 cubes like this, divided here, okay? 5 cubes. But they will become progressively smaller. So we will use the division of the unit method that we learned to divide this cube into correct placement. So we will take what now? Because I want to divide which face? This face I want to divide here, okay? This side. So if I want to divide this one, I will take the midpoint from here to here. So at 2.5, okay? From this, we will take a line to the vanishing point. Now, from this corner through this point, okay? Straight line. Where it will touch this line, here is the location of the second cube of this size. And again, from this point through this point. Here is the number 3. And again, number 4. And the last one, number 5. So now we divide it. We have 5 cubes of the same size in perspective, divided, so the spaces we know they're kind of correct according to what we started. It depends on what you started here, okay? So the 5 cubes. Now we do what? What do we have here? Oh, okay. We need to continue the cube. So from each of these points, we will take to the vanishing point. Where do the lines end? Where do the lines end? You have to go back here and see where is this point. Do you see this line? Continue it to the vanishing point. It will intersect the other lines at certain locations. Where they will intersect, because they're in the same level, okay, this is where they will end. Okay, now we have here now, in this place, we have two cubes of the same size, but going down. So one here, okay? So how can we know where they are located? Well, the location already we know. We just extend these two lines, okay? Their location is already known. But we don't know what we don't know. Okay, where do they stop? Here, where? Okay? So we have to go back to the first edge, because we said they're 5 centimeter cubes. Okay? So we cannot measure here 5, because in perspective it will be looking smaller. Okay? So we have to go back to the first edge. So from here we measure 1. Okay, it will be the space is a little bit too small, but okay. 1 here, and let's say here. So from the first edge, what we measure 5, okay, and now we take these to the vanishing point and see where it will intersect these lines. Take it all the way to the vanishing point and see where it will intersect. So here is the first 5 centimeter cube down. We measured it from the first stage. Okay. Now this is the second one. The same thing, we will take this point to the vanishing point. Okay. And see where it will intersect this. So this is the first, this is the second cube down. Okay. So now we need to complete these cubes. These two cubes need to be completed. So from this point and this point to the vanishing point. And from this point to the vanishing point. But where do they end? Where? Okay? Well, they're the same like this cube. So this cube have this corner here. So if you put down a line where it will intersect this line, it will intersect inside, so we will not see it. But this line is going to be visible. Okay? So it comes from down from this corner. Okay. So our object for now is completed. Now we will continue with the rest. So we will draw inside a pipe, basically. A pipe that have circular cross sections, so circles, okay? But we needed to start with the cubes. Okay? We needed to start with the cubes. Always we start with the objects that have straight lines, cubes, cuboids, then we will draw whatever circles we have inside. So, now I will draw circles in some of these faces. Let me see, we need to draw also the hidden faces. So these 3 hidden faces, we need them. Let me draw them. And from all of these points, okay, we will take to the vanishing point. To the vanishing point. need to draw all of the hidden faces inside. And from here also. So all of the hidden faces inside with dotted lines we need to draw. Now we will draw the circles. So we will start with, so the pipe will go like this, turn around like this, and then turn around like this. So something like this, okay? So we will draw now a circle here on the upper face, diagonal, diagonal. From here, a line through the midpoint going to the vanishing point. From here, the line going through the midpoint, going to the vanishing point, to know the 4 points. We will draw a circle on it, touching the 4 points. Okay. Now, we will do the same. We need some of the hidden faces, okay? That's why we draw them. So this is here a hidden face. I will also draw a circle inside here. Again, the same thing, this line going to the vanishing point, this line going through the center, going to the other vanishing point. Here are the 4 points. And we draw circle. Now, we need to draw another face. Now, this will be like a pipe going like this, then turning, going that way. So I need this face here of this cube, this face, and I will draw a circle inside. Diagonal, diagonal. This line straight down, parallel to this. This line going through the center, going to the vanishing point. So we have 1 point here, which is the same from this circle. We have second, third, and fourth point. And we draw the circle here inside. Now this circle is where on this face, which is part of this cube here, okay? Now we will draw another circle in this face, and in this face, and here, okay? All of this will be circles, and the final stage will be connecting them. So, diagonal, diagonal. Straight line passing through the center, and this line passing through the center, going to the vanishing point. Okay. Drawing the circle inside. And the next one. Same thing, this line straight, parallel, passing through the center. This one going to the vanishing point to find the 4 points, then drawing the circle. Fix these a little bit here, make them more clear. Have this and this, okay? And we continue with the next surface. this line to the vanishing point. Remember not to forget which line goes where, which is straight, which goes to the vanishing point. Okay, you need to draw very carefully. Okay, again a circle inside. Now if you notice, they should, if you draw the object correctly, they should become smaller and smaller and smaller, okay, these circles. Now, when the pipe goes this way, turns around like this, then turns around that way. So we don't need a circle here, but we need a circle on this surface. This surface, which is part of this cube. So from this point through here, from this point through here, this line passing through the center, going to the vanishing point, and from this line passing through the center, going to the other vanishing point, and we have point 1, 2, 3, 4. And there should be a circle here inside. The same thing we will do on this surface. So here, where is the hidden line? From this point, going to the vanishing point. Okay, so diagonal, diagonal. This line passing through the center, going to the vanishing point. This line passing through the center, going to the vanishing point. Okay. Again, we draw circle. And the last one on this surface, the last circle. Diagonal, diagonal. This line passing through the center to the vanishing point. This line passing through the center to the vanishing point. Now these circles, even though they're drawn by hand on your paper, we need them to look like as if they're not drawn by hand. They have to be one perfect line. Of course, you will repeat until you get it right, but they have to be smooth and perfect. I don't want to see hairy lines like these. Hairy lines we don't want to see. Okay? It needs to be one straight line. Even if you repeat, like for example, okay, now I need to continue my line. When you continue, it needs to be on the same line, and it needs to look very, very clean. Okay? So, you need to be especially careful because here we have a lot going on now. A lot of lines, a lot of stuff, so that your work remains clean. Now, the last stage will be what? Connecting the circles. So when you have several circles forming an object, you first draw the square or the cube, if it's a 3D object. You draw on the where you need to have the circles, then, according to the rules, then you connect the circles. So the most outer elements we will connect. So, now we will connect these two circles, for example, together. This is the most outer points. You already know the 4 points location. So this point with this point. You see, you connect. This point with this point. This point with this point. This point again connected with this point. Now, this point we will continue connecting with this, okay? And connect and connect. Now, here also we have, so this line connected with this, then it turns, it makes a small turn and connects with this point, with this point, this point, okay? And here what? This point will be connected with this point here. So, like this turn we will do. So, we will do what? A turn from here to here. continue down, connecting the circles, and here it will make a very sharp turn from the inside actually. So, because this is not drawn very carefully, they don't meet. But in your drawing, they should meet. So there will be here a small turn, and it will need to connect with the end corners of this circle. So, now, the problem is if you haven't measured here correctly, for example, I said 5 centimeter, 5, 5, 5. If you haven't done that correct, some of the objects will not look correct, some of them will be too small or too big and not fit. Now, if you also, because you're drawing by estimation, so if you put this side, for example, this is not a cube, too much, too little, then you divide it wrongly. Any mistake on the way and the accuracy, after when you connect these, they will not fit. They will not fit perfectly. You will see one circle too big, one circle too small, and all of these problems. So everything needs to be as much as possible, according to the techniques that we learn, to be accurate so that it can work. So, basically a circular pipe with circular cross sections, but we need to draw the circles in several locations so that we know that we are drawing this correctly, or looking at least correctly in perspective. Now, we can add a few other things, like for example here we can have an opening. Every material have a thickness. Now I will not make a big deal finding center points, but because there is too many lines already, but I will draw something like this here, another circle inside, which should follow the first circle, but this distance must be bigger than this distance because of the perspective point. If you want to be more accurate, you can divide the surfaces, find the location more accurately. So this is here an opening going this way. And here you will have a hidden opening, okay? So this is something opened. Okay. So this is the pipe that you need to draw. So 2 cubes of 5 centimeters on top of each other, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cubes going this way, divided using the division of the cube method, and then putting another 2 down. So 2 up, 3 here, and 5 across. Now we will draw another object. So this is your first object, okay, that you need to do. Now I will delete it. And we will draw the second object. Because we said, draw objects on board, and I will draw 2 objects that you need to draw. The second object, we will draw a dumbbell. A dumbbell, this with the heavy the weight, okay, where you have here a weight, and in between a circular rod to pick it up. So very easy. Now first we need to draw the first edge. Now here we don't have any specific measurement, okay? But the proportions need to be the same. So, for example, the spaces in between, the same divisions. But what is this line going to be? It's up to you. So some of you will have smaller, some of you larger objects. Okay, that's okay, as long as it is clear. Don't make it too small, okay? Now, I will take this from here and here to the vanishing points. And from these points to this vanishing point. Now, I'm not going to draw a cube. Okay, I don't need a cube. I need a cuboid object. Okay, so a little bit elongated. taking to the vanishing point. And this point to the other vanishing point. Okay. So this is what a cuboid, because my object is a little bit elongated, we will have a circular object inside here. But before we do that, we need to draw also the hidden lines. We will need them. So the hidden lines must be drawn. And from this point to the vanishing point. So the hidden lines must be finished. Okay. Now, we have here space, and then here somewhere will be another one of these. Now, we can estimate, but it will not be as accurate as when we use the division of the unit method. So we will divide correctly now. If I'm happy with this object, we continue. How? From this first edge here, we will put the midpoint. We don't know what is the measurement, but we still know where is the midpoint, okay? And we will take it to the vanishing point. To the vanishing point. Now, I'm dividing what? This face here, okay? Notice this time it's a long, elongated rectangle. It doesn't matter, okay? So whatever I'm dividing, it will be in the same distance and correctly apart. So from this point through this point, straight line, down. Okay, so next object, located here. And I will divide again. Now we will divide the whole line, and later, if I don't need something, we can delete. Again, from this point through this point. Now, how many spaces shall we put here? That's up to me. Okay? But the proportion should be the same. So if someone draws this same object but smaller, they have to leave, for example, the same number of spaces. So the proportion of the object will be the same. Even though one is small size, one is bigger size. That's important. The proportions will stay the same or very similar. Okay? Let's say this is enough. So my first object is here. This is it. And the second one that I need is this. And how many spaces in between? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I will make it this kind of proportion. So when we have an object here, there is 4 spaces in between in the real object that I imagine. 4 spaces, and then the last one. So circle here, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? Now, I need to complete the final object like it is here. So we will take to the vanishing point. From here to the vanishing point. From here to the vanishing point. And there will be here hidden also line that go to the vanishing point. And here also. Now, where do these end? Well, if it's the same size like this object, it's very easy because we already have this line. Okay, this line going to the vanishing point, it will intersect here. Okay, so here is the end. Then from here we will put straight down a until where? Until where this line? Well, from here we will know. If this is here the end of this object, okay, so let's take it again to the vanishing point. Okay. And then down from this line, where it will cross, here is the end of this line. Okay, so this object here and this object. We finished. Now, these spaces here that we divided, it is just to know where the location of this is. Okay, so all of these we actually, we don't really need them. I will delete them for one reason, not to overcrowd here the paper, the board, so you can see better. But on your paper, everything will stay, okay? So all of these division spaces, we know that there are 4 spaces. Now, we need to draw circles. Circles where? This is here a 3D object. It's not just a circle, okay? So, but it has a thickness. So we have a circle here and a circle here, and then we connect, like we did with the pipe, okay? So, diagonal from here to here, and from here to here to find the center point. Then straight line down, passing through the center. Then a line passing through the center, going to the vanishing point. The 4 points are these. And now we will draw the circle inside. So this is our first circle. Then we draw another circle inside this face here, okay? Diagonal, diagonal. Where is the center point? From here. Straight line down, passing through the center. From here, a line passing through the center, going to the vanishing point. These are the 4 points that we need. And we draw another circle inside. So, something like this, okay? So we have a circle on this face, a circle on this face. We have to do the same here. So here is our box. Okay. So we will draw now the circles inside these spaces. Diagonal, diagonal, line passing through the center, down, straight. Then from here the line pass, go to the vanishing point. 1, 2, 3, 4 points. And we draw the circle. And the same thing we will do on the face that is here, okay, at the back. So from this corner to this corner, diagonal. From this corner to this corner, diagonal. The straight line passing through the center. Then the other line passing through the center, going to the vanishing point. 1, 2, 3, 4 points. And we draw the circle. Now, it's time to connect the circles. So, we will connect them. final object will look something like this here, more clear. So we will have two three-dimensional objects here and here. Okay, great. But we need to put something circular in between, touching the center. So this center with this center with this center, and it will have a thickness. But this circular thing, which is something like this, okay, we cannot just draw it straight away. We need to draw the square in perspective, the square here, okay, and then connect them correctly. So let's find that. Now we have here the diagonal for this surface. We have this diagonal and this diagonal. This is the center. Now I want to draw a square here. Now I can, for example, select it freehand. Like for example, the line here going, passing here, passing through here to the vanishing point, and then drawing the square. But you can also do a second way, which is the division of the unit. Okay, so we have the surface. Let me draw it bigger so you can see it. So we have a surface like this, okay? This surface is like this surface. Here I will not draw it because it's too small. I will show it here. So we have what here? We have our circle that we did. Okay, so this is here. Our circle was here somewhere like this. Now I need to know here the square also, another square which is of a certain size. So we can, if you notice, where is this location and where is this location? So from this point to this point I will divide a second time. From this point through this point we will divide a second time. It will intersect and here and here. Okay? So it will intersect the lines here, for example, here, and here, and here. Okay, now this is here a square. This here will be another square. But it's still too big. You know, if I want to use this square, it's a bit too big. So I can do again a division. You see here this square, it has this side and this side, okay? And here we can subdivide a second time here, second. So it will have again intersecting points. And I can draw a smaller square. And again, and again. Okay, so it's subdividing. So the big square, the smaller square. So there are several methods you can use to subdivide. This is one. If I'm happy with this size, then I will take it. So I will just draw it here. So this line should go to the vanishing point. So we have here going to the vanishing point. Okay. So let's say this is my square that I choose. Okay, here I put it. Now, the same thing I have to do here. The same thing here. Okay, so we will find the location of this square either through this method or more easily I can just take the lines from here and see where they will intersect there. You know, so if I have this correct, I can just do this. So this will go all the way from here. Where this line go? To the vanishing point, of course. So you will end up with a square here somewhere, and all of these lines here should fit with this square. So it's basically taking this square to the vanishing point, and see where here it will intersect the diagonals, because as you can see, all of these squares intersect the diagonal, the main diagonal here. Okay? So all of them intersect here, if you notice that. Okay. So they have to intersect these diagonals here. Okay, so from the corners to the vanishing point, where it will intersect, you draw here your second square. Be careful that these lines should go to this vanishing point, these lines to that vanishing point. Now, after we are done with this, you have to draw circles inside. So, in this small square, you will have here 1, 2, 3, 4 points. You will have to draw the circle. And at the other side, which is here, so we will have here a circle. And here we will have a circle. And then you need to connect them. Now this connection, these lines, is for the square connected. But the circle inside will be smaller, so you need to connect the circle. For the final, you need to connect the actual circle, okay, not the box. So the box here is just a construction line. The construction lines just help you to construct something. What we need is really this here, okay? And there is no corner here. It is just a circular object. So if we want to draw more circles here inside, there will be squares, and the circles will be tilted in the same way. Tilted. You see how this is tilted? For example, like this, tilted. All of the other circles will be tilted in the same way. Okay? But of course, we don't need to draw all these cross sections. We just need the first and the last. Okay? Okay. Now, of course, when you draw a little more careful, the object you start with, the way you divide it, this object here looks a little bit elongated, so the circle is not perfect. But if you draw it a bit more carefully with the rulers, it will look much better. The important thing is, so the measurement from here to here, the first edge, I will not give you. Okay? It's up to you. Also here you will estimate, here you will estimate. But the spaces in between should be 4 spaces. 4 spaces left, and the last one should be on the 5th. The rest is as I draw. Okay? Finding the center points, drawing the circles, connecting, and so on. So these 2 objects need to be on the same paper.
The size is free.
Which size?
Yeah.
What did I just explain? This is free. But the spaces in between, whatever object you choose, should be the 4 spaces. 4 divisions, okay? And you will leave the divisions of the unit on the paper, just light. Okay? So, the proportions will be similar, just your size on the paper will be different. The first object, 5 centimeter cubes from the first edge. Okay? Now, what do we have? What else here? So this is here the 2 objects that you need to draw on the second sheet. On the third sheet, draw other circular objects. And we need at least 2 again. Now, other circular objects, it means different than the ones that I draw here. Anything else, like what can we draw? What can we draw? Okay, let me draw something. Going to the vanishing point, I will draw just anything, okay, to see. Of course, always, whatever you draw, you have to start with a cube or cuboid or some kind of object with straight lines, then to draw the circle with the correct method and build your object. Even if it's totally freehand drawing, you still need to draw these first, okay? So, now the length, okay? Shall we put it like this? Taking the lines to the vanishing points, okay. Drawing the hidden lines. This here go to the vanishing point. And this here to the vanishing point. Okay. Now what am I going to draw here? Okay, I need here a square size which is smaller than this. So let me subdivide this here area. Diagonal, diagonal. This line going straight down. This line passing through the center, going to the vanishing point. 1, 2, 3, 4. I will not draw a circle here. I will subdivide again because I need a smaller one. Now it will intersect here, and here, and here, and here. So here I will draw my square that maybe I will need. These lines go to the vanishing points, okay? Now if I'm happy with this size, I continue. Okay, now I need the same square on this surface. So divide this, and I can just take these lines to the vanishing point and see where it will intersect. So I don't have to draw it a second time. Okay. We just take this point here, okay, to the vanishing point. It intersects here. This point intersects here. This point going to the vanishing point intersects here, for example, and this point intersects somewhere here. And then I can draw my square on this side. This go to the vanishing point, of course, to the vanishing point. Okay. So once you find the first one, the second one, maybe you don't need it. Okay. I need to draw another big square. So I want to draw here like this, and then come here like this. So I will draw another big square like this here, in this location. Continue from this line, where it will intersect here, down. And from here, from this point, to the vanishing point. So this is here another big square. I'm just drawing free anything, okay? Now, I will need, okay, now let me continue this side, then I will finish the other. So here and here we will need circles. So we have the 4 points. If I want to draw the circle here, here also the same thing, the 4 points. We will draw the circle. Circle here, circle here. And I will connect them now. I will draw also a big circle inside here, the same method. From here, straight line down, from here passing through the center, going to the vanishing point, the 4 points. Now I will connect this circle with this circle. Notice we have now small circle connect to big circle. Okay, so now I want to continue this object. So this is going to be long, short, round, whatever here. Okay, this is for us to decide. Okay, let's say I need another square somewhere here and a circle, so smaller than this square. Okay, so I need to define here by dividing, subdividing, okay, the location of the square that I need. Okay, this location, not freehand, okay, just subdivide correctly. So you can also subdivide this 1 time, 2nd time, 3rd time. You can subdivide into 3s, 3rds, okay? So any of the methods that we learned, you can use. Now, This here, small square, I don't need it here. I need it, for example, somewhere here. So I will take it out. Take it out where? To the vanishing point. To the vanishing point. To the vanishing point. And I will draw it wherever I want. Okay, so if I want to draw it here, the same one, this line should go to the vanishing point, to the vanishing point, okay, until you have the square that you want, located, for example, in the location where you want. And then, of course, you need to draw the circle inside here. If it's a circular, if it's not circular, that's another story, okay? But we're dealing with circles now. Then we connect again. We connect the big circle to the small circle, and we could end up with an object that looks something like this, okay? For example. Now, when we draw objects that have circular cross sections, do you see this is, if we cut it, imagining cut it, it will have circles inside. Small circles, big circles, okay, here this one become bigger. Now, if I want to draw more circles here, notice there will be more circles, more circles, more circles, okay? But we don't need all of this. We just need, whenever the shape changes, like this is, for example, a starting circle, this is the end circle. This is the shape I want. Then the shape suddenly changes. We need to show the change, okay? Like, for example, the maximum point of change. Then the end point. Now, if the object you have a, strange shape, it could look something like this, for example. For example, like this object, it will have many changes. It will here have a starting circle, a second circle to show the end. Then we will have here, for example, a circle showing this object, another circle here showing this object. Then, for example, the final circle is down here. So, anywhere where there is a change of shape, there must be a circle drawn. So, the object that you will draw here, of course, you will have to draw the square in perspective first for each one of them, then connect them, okay, like in the method that we showed, so that it comes out in a decent way. So, what you will draw here to another two objects from your choice. It could be anything, okay? The more decent, of course, it looks, the more it has details, it's better, but stay away from unnecessary details. It's like we need to know how you use the square surfaces, how you divide, how you draw the circles, how you connect and get out an object, a three-dimensional object. This is what we need to learn here. Always to start in the correct way and to draw. Even if it's a hand drawing, even if I don't have the perspective points and I'm just drawing very fast, freehand, I still need to apply the same method if I want my object to look decent on the paper, okay? So, this is what paper number 3, draw other circular objects, at least 2. Now, the fourth paper, draw a complex circular object. See handouts. Which handouts? Basically the examples here. So we have here a lot of, some of them are more easy examples, some of them more difficult. You can see even something similar from what we draw on the board, but a little more details here. You can find a lot of here examples, but what I mean is with difficult, a little example, is like these, for example, here, objects. If you notice, they have, it is similar to the pipe, but with much more details, okay? So we have circles that go in one direction, in another direction, and all of them are in two-point perspective. As you can see, the complicated part is only with the many circles that you have. So one object you need to find that is of this level, and to draw it here you have also pipes, okay? But with a little more detail than what we draw. So there is a lot of examples here. There is bottles, for example. okay? Bottles, but this is here a very easy object. This is easy, okay? This lamp, okay? How it was drawn first as a cube with rectangular faces and so on. So the circles were drawn. After that, it became. This is a simple table also. So these are simple objects, okay? Just to look at. But the complex, it needs to be more complicated than these, okay? More details. And so we need what here? Draw a complex circular object. So one on the paper and decent size. Please don't draw too small, because if you draw too small, the circles will become difficult to see, the lines will become, so make it a decent size, okay? And you have a bonus exercise. This is optional. If you want to do it, do it. For extra marks, if you don't want, don't do it. What is the bonus exercise? The circular chair. The circular chair you need to draw in 1-point perspective and 2-point perspective on one sheet. Here is example of the circular chair. For the bonus exercise, I will put you pictures of the circular chair in a folder, and here are examples, okay? So you must be very careful with the proportions. For example, so this is here in 1-point perspective using 1 point. This chair, the same, is drawn in 2-point perspective on the same paper. Wait. You need to be careful the proportions. And for this, you need to watch a video. A video from what? From me explaining this from previous semester. Okay? You need to watch the entire lecture just to be careful of what you need to do, to understand, and then you will do the bonus exercise if you want. Okay? So this is for extra marks. Yes?
Can I cut the paper in the middle, and I will make the 1-point perspective chair. Well, under, I will make 2-point perspective chair.
To cut the paper in the middle?
Not cutting, just line.
Put a line like this, you mean? And draw here in 1 point and here in 2? You can, but be careful. If you for example, have the half paper for 2-point perspective, and you put me the 2 points like this here, the space will be too close to each other. So you need to use them with more space in between, so that the object looks good. But whether you put a line in between or no line, I don't really mind, okay? Important to have the same chair, the correct proportions visually. We don't know the measurements, but visually it needs to have correct proportions. And to understand this properly, watch the video, because I explain about the proportions and I actually show the chair. And I will post you pictures of it so you have an idea. So, this is bonus exercise, optional. The rest have to do these 4. Okay?